Yeah, I mean, I think of all the times I've been pulled over by the police, and it's got to be at least, I don't know, 30, 40 times.
Yes.
I wouldn't think to just roll the window up and say, do what you gotta
I would never do no shit like that.
It doesn't even make sense to me. I wouldn't even, and I remember the first time I got pulled over, the first time I was 16, I was in high school. I had a bunch of friends in the car, and I remember when I saw the lights behind me, I always remember this. Growing up watching TV, my first instinct was high-speed chase.
Yes.
That was the first thing I thought.
Right.
Luckily, my rationale kicked in and said, okay, just pull over, Vlad. You're not really doing anything. When I really wasn't.
Right.
You know, he pulled us over, whatever, spoke to us and sent us home, and it is what it is. But yeah, roll down the window and say, do what you got to do. You're pulling your football star card on somebody. And that card it's not universal.
And the only reason why I'm afraid of it, because somebody else will see and think they can do the same thing.
Mm.
But this time it may not be a bunch of cops, it may not be traffic. It might just you and that person.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you see how these things work out. The cop might feel that you might have a weapon on you, or you're physically much stronger than him and he goes into a fear mode and he's got a gun. You don't. You don't want to
do what you want to do, people. I've seen the arguments.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you what I would do. And I'll give an example. I'm coming out of the Lincoln Tunnel in New York. 2-something in the middle, hitting the Garden State Parkway.
Mm-hmm.
Now, because I know how they move, I see a cop car on the side of in the parking lot with the high beams on, facing the highway, profiling. Now, I'm doing the speed limit because at my age, just a couple years ago, I'm not in the mood of driving fast. And I'm in an all-white community. 10 minutes later, or 5 minutes, the cop is behind me, pulls me over. I pull in the Dunkin' Donuts parking lot. So I said, I got my ID. I rolled the window down because he comes on the passenger side. And I fucked him up when I rolled the window down, I looked him dead. I said, I saw you profiling me. He was shocked. He said, what do you mean? I said, I saw you profiling me. I said, you was on the side of the highway with the lights on. And then he kept saying, well, just give me your ID. I don't want to give you, I'm just check your ID. Well, if I didn't do nothing wrong, why am I giving you my ID? This is what I'm saying. Now, my ID is clean. I don't have no problems, but I know you profiling me, young man. So he started saying, yo, you're a big guy, blah, blah, blah. And I talked to him so well, and I still gave him my ID because my goal was to get to my hotel room. He must have told his sergeant that he said I was profiling, but the sergeant didn't talk to me when he got there. I was pulling off and I saw the sergeant because he had the white hat. So I saw him talking to him, but I know he was shocked. So that was 2 or 3 years ago. Before I went to France, I'm in that same area. I'm not saying it's the same cop, but I saw the cars with the lights on, they still profile. So these things can go bad for people. All I want is for a man or woman to be respectful, because at the end of the day, all a cop wants is for you to respect them. Yeah, we know some fucked up cops out there. We know they do some bad things. We know this, but we can only take one situation at a time. And right now we talk about Tariq Hill. I don't want people to be, oh, so-and-so did this over here. Let's do one thing at a time. Tariq Hill situation.
Yeah, I mean, look, I got roughed up by NYPD. I got pulled over. My lights were off. And when they pulled me over, they looked at a suspended license. You know, they asked me to come out the car, and then they slammed me against, the car. And I was like, yo, like, this is not necessary.
Yes.
But whatever. I got booked. I went through the process and I got out.
You're a man.
That was that.
You're a man.
Did I feel disrespected at that moment? 100%. Did I talk some shit in the back seat of the car? Yeah, I talked some shit. They closed the window on me. But at the end of the day, I wasn't going to try to fight them, or, I didn't roll the window up or whatever. You have asshole cops, but the goal is to just go through the process and get home.
That's my point.
That talking shit or whatever else is not going to get you a more serious charge, but fighting back or trying to resist arrest or whatever else, that could escalate things into God knows what. And so I just took my L and whatever, I got out.
Here's the thing that they don't know. When people say, oh, why did he get this charge and that person didn't? 9 times out of 10, that person had a record.
True.
See, people never take that into consideration. This person probably didn't have a record. This person, now let's make sure people understand how I'm not for the police. My brother got murdered by the police. My oldest brother. They shot my brother 7 times in Jersey City, New Jersey.
I don't know if we ever talked about this before.
No, we never have.
Okay, let's talk about this.
Yeah, so my brother was stole cars for a living, right? And he kept stealing all the whole. But what was crazy about my brother, God bless him, is that he kept the car. He didn't sell the car. My brother would joyride in the car. So after years of high school, you become, the cops got familiar with you. He was in jail. He got out. He had stolen another car. They went on a high-speed chase. And I guess he didn't want to go back to jail. So they blocked the streets off in Jersey City, New Jersey, because he could talk on the walkie-talkie. So he blocked the street. And he went up on the sidewalk to go around the cop. And the cop pulled his gun out and shot him 7 times dead in the car. Like unloaded on him.
Wow.
And because of that time, what they do with you in the paper, they bring up your criminal history. They talk about how he was arrested 42 times. They talked about how he just been this habitual car thief, because they did that so that it would deter our family for pressing charges and suing. And that's what happened. And he never got justice for that, because from my side of the family, he was a career criminal. Did he deserve to get shot 7 times? No. But at that time, my money wasn't, my father was deceased. We didn't have that kind of money to go to court or whatever. And we had to live with that decision. So I just want people to know I'm not vouching for the police at all. I have my reasons too. But I'm a man at the end of the day. And I'm a man who wants to teach people the right thing. And the right thing is to do the right fucking thing.
Do you think of that moment when he started to drive on the sidewalk to get away, that the cop thought he was trying to run him over, possibly?
And that's what they said. They said the cop said that he tried to run him over. And in everything I do, I look at things triple ways, right? Yeah. And he could have shot the tire in the car, right? Could have shot the tires in the car. But he actually shot him 7 times. It's a different ballgame when you overdo it that way.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at it now at your age, who do you think has to bear responsibility for the outcome? Is it the cop or your brother?
Well, I believe in accountability. I always discuss accountability. Yeah. And when it would definitely be my brother, because at the end of the day, your choices depends on your choices depends on your consequences, right? And if he'd have never did that, he would have never got shot, right? If I never did the things I did, I would never have these type of stories. But some of us get to change our lives. Some of us do. I'm one of them. And some people don't.
Yeah, I mean, like, I know that if I pull out a gun, I can't predict what the next set of events will be.
Exactly.
But I have to assume that my death might result in that.
I totally agree with you. And the reason why you say, I'm glad you brought that up. I'm in Dayton, Ohio. I rent a car from Avis, a Dodge Charger, the truck though. So I'm there for a couple of days. I'm doing a show at the Funny Bone. So I don't want to take my wallet in with me, so I open up the armrest. It's a 9mm Glock. I called my home and said, yo, I got this gun. I'm going to bring this shit back. Come with me. My boy said, TK, whatever you do, don't take that gun on the plane, or don't send it in the mail, because you're going to get in trouble. I left the gun in there for a couple of days, right? But in my head, it's kind of funny what I'm about to tell you. I'm watching Franklin Saint on Snowfall. Yeah. That's when it was in the time. And I'm thinking, I'm a grown man though, but in my head, I'm going through this moment. Franklin motherfucker Saint. And I started thinking about what you said, the consequences. I said, I was sitting in the car and I had the gun in my hand. And I had to drive from Dayton to Columbus, Ohio. Because if I take this gun with me and the cops stop me, I can't say this gun was in here prior to me renting the car because once they check my record, they're not gonna give a fuck. Right? We already know I'm done. It's a wrap. Nigga, shut the fuck up. Who you think you talking about? Nah, that ain't happening, right? If I take this gun and I hurt somebody with it, my children's lives is fucked up. Or I could be dead. So right before I go to Columbus, Ohio, I get up early that morning, I got my pajamas on, and there's a lake right by the hotel. I took the clip out and I threw it in the water. I don't have a strong arm. I look like I'm strong, but my arm strength is fucked up, right? I take that and I throw it. It lands on the sand. You can still see it. So I said, damn, if somebody comes through here and they get that gun,
You got your fingerprints on it, yeah.
well, the water probably wipe it off, right?
Maybe.
But somebody could kill somebody because the gun is right there.
Yeah.
Because when you get that in your hand, it's a feeling of confusion. It's a confusion of power. Like it's so many things go through your mind, right?
Yeah.
So I actually had to walk down the side of this damn highway in my pajamas and house shoes down to that sand and get it and actually throw it in the water. And I went back up, took a shower, and I went to the airport. But that was one of the greatest choices in my life.